Hi everybody, it's Emma from Girly HR Gardener. It's the end of May and it's raining, but I thought I would do a allotment tour because I've not done one for a little while, and I don't know why I've decided to do it in the rain, but I have. So I've started, here we are. So I think it's just over a month since I did the last tour, and when I did it, there was nothing really in any of the beds, and it does look completely different now. So we'll start with kind of over by the shed. I have the self-watering, see if I get here, there's a self-watering pot. In fact, let's walk around to it because this has gone absolutely bonkers. And I'm really pleased with it. So this is the self-watering pot, and as you can see, I'm trying to get the angle right, the pansies have gone absolutely nuts. The Aquilegia in the middle is still quite small, but clearly it's getting enough water, and I think I've watered it twice since I did it, so that's looking quite good. And then here I've got my bee table here. So these plants are all coming along really well. The spring planting still in there, but obviously completely hidden now from view by all of these. I don't know what most of the plants are, so it's going to be exciting to see what comes up. But the idea is that they're all bee friendly, and fingers crossed will attract lots of pollinators. And one of my neighbours has actually installed a beehive, so again, fingers crossed they'll head this way. And another update for you on the living wreath, and that's flowering beautifully. I'm really pleased with that. So there's flowers coming constantly. Just remembering to deadhead them as I see that they've kind of gone over, but yeah, really pleased with that. And then over here, I've brought out the fig now. So the fig, fingers crossed, should do quite well. This is where it was sighted last year, and it was happy enough. So fingers crossed that all of that fruit will ripen, and we'll have plenty of figs. So then, just looking at the rest of the plot, so come over to here. So as you can see, we have the flower bed here is looking good, and in fact I'll come down to the end so you can see a bit better. We've got sweet peas in there, the foxglove obviously at the front, with some lilies. So those are oriental lilies, and dahlias. Now interestingly, the dahlias kept coming up in my old plot, in my old flower bed that I thought I'd cleared, and they just kept popping up. So as they've come up, I've dug them up and popped them into there. The peony is about to flower, which well, there's some buds there, as you can see, and then behind it is a cornflower, which I'm hoping will self-seed, and I've got some cosmos and the sunflowers, so 3 different sorts of sunflowers, and the sink planter again looking absolutely fantastic. So really pleased with those. Then I have my potato bed. So again, all looking really healthy and nice. I do plant my potatoes later than most other people, so I just planted them a couple of weeks ago. I don't chit. Some dreaded horsetail. I don't chip potatoes, and I've never had a problem with their growth, so they're looking fab. These are pink fir apple potatoes, so they do tend to come slower anyway, and you can pick them, once the flowers go, you can take them up then, or if you add lots and lots of water at that point, the tubers will get bigger, and then we'll get some slightly bigger potatoes. Then in this bed I have my onions, and this blank space here I popped some garlic in. I know it's a bit late in the season, but they did say that you could plant them right up until the end of May, so I popped them in. The onions are a mix of white, red and yellow onions. I don't know the variety, they were actually given to me, so I'm not fussed, but they're looking good. And what I did actually, and again, because I plant things out later than most other people, I popped them into some little cells and let them grow on a little bit before I popped them out. And so depending on the size of the cell that they were in, some of them are a bit further on than others, but again, really pleased with those. And then I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but this is my brassica bed. I think it might just be a white mess, but in there I have some cauliflowers, some sprouts, and then quite a lot of swede. I did swede last year, it was really lovely, really enjoyed it. So I think I've got 3, 6, 9, 12 swede. I think I've got 6 sprouts and 6 collies. There is a bit of a space there, so I might put some salad crops in there to fill in the space. Then I have my peas and beans. So again, they're all out now. The ones closest that look a bit sad, they were brought on earlier and popped out, but then we had a massive dry spell, so they're looking a bit sad. And then I planted some direct and some in the polytunnel, so I'm hoping for a bit of succession planting, successional cropping, I guess, there. And then down here at the end I've got some dwarf French beans. So that's here, dwarf French beans. And again, I had some plants that I brought on, and then I've planted directly as well. And oh, this is exciting. So in here I have some, what are these? Runner beans, Scarlet Emperor runner beans, and 2 of them are just starting to show. I'll have to, there's a slug. So they're just starting to show. And I'd not noticed those before, so that's exciting. And then in this bed, I have carrots and parsnips there, and the space at the end. It's a big space at the end here, which I'm going to put beetroot into, and I'm actually just starting to grow them, or they're just starting to come through in the polytunnel. And then, other than that, I have lots of pots. So I have some bedding pots. I've got, excuse me, I've got a bit of a runny nose. So I've got some lilies in this pot here, and then some bedding plants and some dahlias. And then here in the polytunnel, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see, but my Savoy cabbage have gone insane. So they've gone completely bonkers, and you can see I've still got plenty of seedlings in there too. So lots and lots going on. In my fruit cage, again, everything coming up well. I've got lots and lots and lots of gooseberries. So I've got some red gooseberries and some green gooseberries. The rhubarb started to come up now. I would have expected to have had a better crop of rhubarb by now, but last year it was in a big pot, and I had to move it and pop it into there, and I made a point of not disturbing the roots. I literally just slid it in, and I then cropped from it, because I mean it was huge, and I suspect I've upset it from doing that, so I'm not going to take a crop from that this year and see if it'll settle down. So fingers crossed I've not upset that too much. And then back here, I have some black currants. Sorry, I've got blackberry, and I've got autumn fruiting raspberries. My husband built you see from the fruit cage. So he built this amazing structure, which I love. but is literally, you could live in it. And I think, I mean, I've got plenty of gooseberries in there, but I think I'm actually going to remove one of those smaller green gooseberry bushes. So, because I don't really need that many. And someone gave me a red gooseberry, and I think with a mixture of red and green, that's more than enough. What else do you need to see in here that you've not seen? If you look at we've got a bit of a hodgepodge going on at the compost bins, but the front of the compost bins didn't have fronts on them. So I've basically got some bits of old pallet. So these ones here are some old pallet that I cut in half, and this was an old fence panel that I was considering using as a gate, but it's just a bit too heavy, so I've just screwed that onto the front. That middle one I've put cardboard on to try and suppress any weeds that come up. This is the compost bin that I'm using, and you can see already it's nearly full. And that's partly because I've been emptying a lot of pots from home, so I've brought them up. And then this is the compost that I was using this year, and as you can see, I have bindweed growing in it, which is an absolute nightmare. So I'm going to have to do something about that, because I really don't need to have bindweed in my compost. So I think that's pretty much it. If I turn around, you can see the whole plot. I'm so pleased with how it's looking. I think that this time of year is definitely my favourite time of year, where everything's growing, and albeit that the weather is absolutely disgusting, it's still a fun time of year where I can relax more in the plot, so I can come and do a little bit of weeding and sit and enjoy the fruits of my labour. So yeah, I think that's all for now. Hope you've enjoyed the tour. I will do another one probably at the end of June. I'm going to try and do a tour at least once a month, so you can see how it progresses. And I think that's all. So until next time, happy gardening.